Angel Reese is under fire from the Chicago Sky general manager. The general manager names Angel Reese by name and says, we need more out of.
What happens when a franchise finally admits their so-called star isn't actually their best player? Angel Reese just found out the hard way when the Chicago Sky named Camila Cardoso as their player of the year over her. After months of Reese publicly criticizing her teammates and demanding roster changes, the Sky delivered a message that couldn't be clearer. This decision reveals everything about Reese's true value to the organization and why her future in Chicago might be shorter than anyone expected. Do you think the Chicago Sky should trade Angel Reese? Let us know down in the comments below.
The sky is falling. We got the Chicago Sky general manager, Jeff P., throwing Angel Reese under the bus?
The Chicago Tribune interview revealed Angel Reese's true feelings about her teammates in ways that left everyone speechless. She declared that getting good players and great players was absolutely non-negotiable for her future with the team. Reese told reporters straight up that she wasn't settling for the same we did this year, and demanded a complete overhaul of the roster. She made it clear the team can't settle for what we have this year, and positioned herself as someone who could help attract top talent to Chicago. These weren't subtle hints or diplomatic suggestions. Reese directly attacked the quality of her current teammates in the most public way possible. Her words sent a message to every player in that locker room that she considered them inadequate. The veteran players who had been grinding in the WNBA for years suddenly found themselves being called out by a second-year player who thought she deserved better. The timing made everything work. Courtney Vandersloot was still working her way back from an ACL injury when Reese questioned her age and reliability in those same comments. Here's a veteran who had given everything to the league, and Reese essentially wrote her off as part of the problem. Vandersloot fired back immediately, saying, "My age is actually not a factor. I am coming back. I'm going to come back better than ever because that's what I've done I put myself in a position to come back and compete even at this age." Reese's demands weren't really about team improvement. They were about her belief that she deserved better supporting players to make her look good. She positioned herself as the centerpiece who needed quality pieces around her, completely ignoring the work and dedication of the players already there. This wasn't a team-first mentality. This was pure ego disguised as competitive drive.
That's something that has yet to come together, but it's a necessity for us to win, Pagliuca said. She's had some great games, and she's had some games like everybody else that haven't been her best. But she's our best chance at versatility on this roster. We need more production out of her, but we need her to help us in other ways too. We need more production out of her. Jeff Pagliuca has been seeing some of the disappointment.
The front office had already bent over backwards to help Reese succeed. They traded for Ariel Atkins specifically to give her the kind of veteran presence she claimed to want. They gave up draft picks and made roster moves with Reese's development in mind. Yet there she was, publicly complaining that their efforts weren't enough. The organization invested in her vision, and she repaid them by telling the world it still wasn't good enough. Vandersloot's response showed the difference between real leadership and entitled demand. She defended not just herself, but the entire roster's work ethic without ever directly naming Reese. Other veterans watched this unfold and started questioning what Reese actually understood about being a leader versus just being a star player who wanted better stats.
Caitlin Clark is far better of a basketball player and has made such a tremendous impact in a greater number, more so than Angel Reese. Everybody knows that. Her college career was better. The stadium sales, the WNBA popularity has gone up because Caitlin Clark.
It's all right. Rachel Banham captured the exhaustion everyone felt when she said, "I think I just don't really care. I'm so over all this." That's a veteran player admitting she was tired of the constant drama. Ariel Atkins, the player they literally traded for to help Reese, had to acknowledge the situation by saying, "We are aware of it. We are addressing it." Even coach Tyler Marsh called handling Reese's comments a top-down organizational decision. The locker room became divided immediately. Sources reported that teammates were furious about Reese's direct attacks, and a team meeting was planned to address her comments directly. Veterans who respected players like Vandersloot couldn't understand how Reese thought this was acceptable leadership behavior. The trust that holds teams together started cracking right there. Maybe not many. Reese had essentially broadcast to the entire league that her teammates weren't good enough to help her succeed. Every player heard that message loud and clear. The damage spread beyond just hurt feelings. It created an environment where players questioned whether their supposed star actually wanted to play with them or just wanted them replaced. The unity that championship teams require became impossible to build. How do you trust a teammate who publicly declares you're not good enough? How do you fight for someone who's already told the world you're part of the problem? Reese's comments didn't just criticize the roster, they poisoned the well for the entire season ahead. Angel Reese's demands for better teammates became a complete joke when she couldn't even show up consistently herself. Her injury status turned into the league's longest-running mystery. The Sky kept listing her as day-to-day for weeks without any real updates or medical detail. Coaches couldn't plan rotations. Teammates didn't know who would be available for games. The whole situation created chaos that rippled through every practice and game preparation. The back injury excuse started falling apart when people noticed what Reese was doing during her absences. She traveled to Indiana to promote her Reebok sneakers instead of supporting her team. She dropped lines about taking over Caitlin Clark's trap in her rival's backyard while her own teammates were getting blown out. She actively hyped her shoe release on social media like it was the biggest event of the year. Fans started calling her the Vanishing Barbie because she disappeared whenever accountability showed up. Reese played only 3 games in 3 weeks leading up to Chicago's elimination from playoff contention. All 3 games resulted in losses by an average of 18 points. The timing couldn't have been worse. The Sky needed every win they could get, and their supposed star was nowhere to be found. The lack of transparency made everything worse. Other teams gave clear injury updates and recovery timelines. Chicago just kept saying day-to-day like they were protecting state secrets. Her technical fouls told an even worse story about her mental state. Reese racked up 8 technicals during the season, earning an automatic suspension. The final technical came when she struck Aaliyah Edwards in the head while battling for a rebound. The league didn't hesitate to enforce the penalty. The suspension happened right before a crucial game against the Indiana Fever, the exact matchup everyone wanted to see. Reese's lack of control cost her team when they needed her most. The Sky organization had to take even more drastic action. They suspended Reese for conduct detrimental to the team based on statements she made during league-mandated media. The team handled it internally, but the label itself said everything. Reese had crossed lines that professional organizations couldn't tolerate. The half-game suspension felt like a weak response that showed the Sky were caught between disciplining their problem player and needing her for ticket sales. Here's the part that really exposed Reese's impact on winning. The Sky actually played better without her on the floor. The offense moved faster. Possessions looked less chaotic. The team didn't seem weighed down by a player who demanded touches and then turned the ball over. Reese led the league in turnovers, despite missing significant portions of the season. Her presence created more problems than solutions. Teammates started questioning where Reese's priorities really were. She demanded roster changes while being strategically unavailable herself. Veterans who had given everything to build winning cultures watched Reese priorities brand activities over team success. The contrast was impossible to ignore. She wanted better players but wouldn't consistently play alongside the ones they had. The players-only meeting that teammates planned to address Reese's comments directly never should have been necessary. Professional players shouldn't need to confront their supposed leader about basic team loyalty. The fact that veterans felt compelled to organize that meeting showed how completely trust had broken down. Rachel Bannum summed up the exhaustion when she said, "I think I just don't really care. I'm so over all this." Reese's disappearing acts destroyed all of that. She created a toxic environment where nobody could count on their supposed centerpiece. The Sky discovered that having a player who demands excellence from others while failing to meet basic professional standards creates organizational chaos. Reese's availability issues combined with her public criticism made it impossible to build the trust and chemistry that championship teams require. Chicago learned the hard way that talent without reliability and leadership equals dysfunctional. Caitlin Clark showed everyone what real leadership looks like during Indiana's transformation. She handled her own injury setbacks with complete transparency. When Clark dealt with an ear injury that affected her hearing during games, she explained the situation openly to media and fans. She never made excuses or created mystery around her availability. The Fever always knew exactly where Clark stood physically and mentally. Clark traveled with the team even when she couldn't play. She sat on the bench during games, cheering teammates and staying engaged with every possession. During timeouts, she talked strategy with coaches and encouraged players who were struggling. Clark never disappeared when things got tough. She showed up for every practice she could attend and made sure her teammates felt supported whether she was playing or not. Her public comments about teammates created the exact opposite environment from Chicago's toxic situation. Clark constantly praised Aaliyah Boston's defensive improvements and rebounding consistency. She highlighted Lexi Hull's three-point shooting and called her one of the most reliable players on the roster. When Kelsey Mitchell had big games, Clark made sure everyone knew how much work Mitchell put in behind the scenes. Clark lifted her teammates up in interviews instead of tearing them down. Clark deferred to Mitchell's experience while Mitchell helped Clark adjust to the professional game's pace. Their partnership showed how stars and veterans can collaborate instead of competing for attention. The respect flowed both ways, creating trust that translated directly to win. Boston's development under Clark's leadership proved what positive influence can accomplish. Boston went from struggling with confidence to becoming one of the league's most reliable big players. Clark fed her easy baskets early in games to get her rhythm going. She celebrated Boston's defensive stops like they were game winners. Boston responded by protecting Clark on screens and crashing the boards harder than ever. Their connection became unstoppable. Hull's breakout season happened because Clark made sure she got quality shots. Clark drew double teams that left Hull open for clean looks from three-point range. Instead of forcing her own shots, Clark found Hull in her sweet spots and trusted her to knock them down. Hull rewarded that trust by becoming one of the most efficient shooters in the league. Clark's unselfishness created opportunities that benefited everyone. Indiana's attendance numbers exploded because fans could see the genuine chemistry Clark created. Games became must-see events, not just for Clark's individual brilliance, but for the way the entire team played together. The Fever sold out arenas across the country because people wanted to watch a team that actually enjoyed playing with each other. Clark's positive energy became contagious and translated into box office success. The playoff contention that nobody expected from Indiana happened because Clark built winning habits from day one. She demanded excellence from herself before asking anything from teammates. Clark showed up early, stayed late, and made everyone around her better through her work ethic. The Fever went from lottery team to playoff contender because their star player understood that individual success means nothing without team success. Clark's LPGA partnership and cross-sport endorsements came after she had proven herself as a reliable professional leader. Brands wanted to associate with someone who represented excellence both on and off the court. Her marketability grew because she had shown the ability to handle pressure and maintain her character under scrutiny. Companies invest in athletes who demonstrate leadership qualities that extend beyond their sport. The sustainable culture Clark built in Indiana became the model for how championship teams operate. Players wanted to play alongside her because she made everyone better. Coaches trusted her because she never created drama or questioned their decisions publicly. The front office supported her because she represented everything they wanted their franchise to be. Indiana's rise proved that selfless leadership creates lasting success. While Chicago dealt with constant drama and chemistry issues, the Fever built something special around a player who understood that lifting others up creates winning culture. The Sky's decision to name Camila Cardoso as their Player of the Year over Reese delivered the ultimate message about organizational priority. Chicago picked the player who showed up every day and supported her teammates over the one who created constant drama and disappeared when it mattered most. Cardoso earned respect through consistency and professionalism, while Reese burned bridges with public complaints and unreliable availability. The Fever's transformation under Clark's leadership proves that championship teams need more than raw talent. They need the right person setting the tone. Indiana built something special around genuine leadership while Chicago learned that ego destroys everything. Do you think the Chicago Sky should trade Angel Reese? Let us know down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen and we will see you in the next one.